Hello, and welcome to Average Beer Nerd. This is Carmine, here to talk about some Oktoberfest beers, also known as Marzen beer because it was brewed back in March. And there's two primary styles. We have the Marzen style, is right there, and then you actually have the Oktoberfest-marzen. And the primary difference between the two is that the Oktoberfest style is actually brewed for about 6 to 8 weeks, and it's actually just brewed for October and Heart of Oktoberfest and all that fun stuff. The Oktoberfest-marzen is actually brewed for 12 to 16 weeks, and it's actually brewed back in March, which March translates to Marzen in Germany and all that fun stuff. And the reason for that is pretty much that way back when they didn't have refrigerators or anything like that. So during the summer months, they didn't understand why the beer was turning sour. So, back when there was no refrigeration or anything along those lines, there wasn't really any sort of science as far as understanding why that beers were turning sour and all that other fun stuff. It's actually bacteria. So, focused on the not your average beer pour.
Oh God.
So they didn't understand why the beer was going sour during the summer months, so they didn't have the science to be able to figure it out. So, that's delicious. They would just brew the beer back in March when it was cool, put it in caves with ice, and keep it and just serve it throughout the year and try to keep it going until October when it got cold enough so that way beer would maintain through the fermentation process without going sour. So what would happen in October is they would actually crack open all the kegs that were brewed back in March, hence the name Marzen beer, to drink it and make room for kegs for the new year and actually enjoy it and make a big festival out of it. So this one is actually the Oktoberfest-marzen, which means it was actually brewed back in March and lagered for about 12 to 16 weeks. Oktoberfest beers are normally very rich, full-bodied, toasty, kind of have like an earthy flavor to them. They're usually kind of that copper look, which I don't know how well the camera does as far as picking that up, but I'll tell you in a minute. They usually have like a medium to high ABV, which is alcohol by volume. So the ABV on this one is a 5.7. It's a medium, getting close to high. It's good tasting, warm, toasty. It's very smooth, doesn't really have any sort of bite to it, and it goes down well. Now, the difference between this and my other one, which is Oktoberfest by Barley Mow, which is a local brewery actually to where I live, which is going to be a big focus of this channel, is that this one is just considered a Marzen style, which means it was brewed only for the 6 to 8 weeks. Which I'll compare the two tastes for you guys here in just a minute, but this one's a 5.5 alcohol by volume, and this one actually states its IBUs, which is 25, which is International Bitter Unit. So the highest International Bitter Unit, or IBU, beer I've ever had, I have two that I've actually tried. I had the Shade Tree IPA by Crooked Thumb, which is another local brewery, and I always heavily believe in drinking local instead of going for a commercial business, and I tried to find something that was a Oktoberfest-marzen true that was local, and I wasn't having the best of luck, so I got one imported from Germany, which, hey. And then I also had the Red Triangle, which was another IPA, but that one is from actually the East Coast, near the Titusville area of Florida. So, whenever you pour beer, for popular belief for some reason when I was younger, it was believed that you didn't want any sort of foam or head on the beer. You just wanted it to be as smooth as possible, all that fun stuff, so that way you don't have any foam in your mustachio and whatnot. Not that I had a mustache when I was younger, but I could have. Holy shit. So when I said a little bit ahead, I didn't mean overflowing, kind of like I just did. I got a little excited in my video. But however, it is always kind of a little bit ahead as far as the beer goes, because that actually helps with the aroma and gets you better flavor for the beer, because a lot of times you'll be able to smell something with the beer as opposed to be able to taste it. And they'll kind of help you get a better feel for the beer, really truly appreciate what they actually put into it. So this is the Marzen style, which was the shorter term one that is a mimic as far as the Oktoberfest one. Fun fact. Maybe I shouldn't say fun fact.
I can say fun fact, it's fine.
Fun fact. A little bit more bitter. Has a little bit more of like a, less of a warm, nutty taste, but kind of a little bit more bitter and has a little bit more bite to it, if you will. Personally, I would probably actually go with the other one, just because it is smoother and it'd go better with some food. This one would go fantastic with like some pretzels and whatnot. And actually, so if you look at the can on this one, which is the Barley Mow Marzen style, it says pair with pretzels, sausage, and Gambit Lukchivit, or something along those lines. And they definitely put a lot of detail into the can as far as the eagle goes, which looks similar to the Polish eagle, to be honest. With the hop for the body, they have the old school cuckoo clock with the weights underneath. And they put a lot of time into this label, actually. I'm really impressed. The general symbol or label for Barley Mow is what looks like a telephone box, which reminds me of Doctor Who, actually, which kind of cracked me up the first time I got it. I may or may not have taken a coaster home with me for that exact reason, being that my wife loves the Doctor Who series. However, definitely did a fantastic job. I definitely appreciate good advertisement and all that fun stuff. Whereas the Dinkel Acker, just have your standard German girl serving some beer, looks just like Oktoberfest, which actually, to be considered a true Oktoberfest beer, you have to be brewing within the city of Munich. Anything outside of that's considered a style of Oktoberfest, which is probably why I couldn't find one local that was actually a true Oktoberfest. But that's besides the point. And that is actually the only thing within Oktoberfest that can be served as beer, is anything that's from Munich. Now, when Oktoberfest first started, it was mostly horses because they ran out of beer. But as they grow, they actually focused more on the beer. Tents started popping up, and to this day, people travel from around the world to attend this massive festival that's known as Oktoberfest and actually has entire beer style named after it, even though originally known as a Marzen beer. So in spirit of Oktoberfest, this is Carmine, beer nerd, having a couple Marzen beers. And you'll see me every Thursday from here on out. Have a great day, folks. Enjoy your beer. Delicious.